The ring is sacred, according to Gunther, but I tell you what, his opinion certainly is not sacred. In fact, it's something else that begins with S, and that is shit. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. That's exactly what Gunther's opinion is. Shit. That's exactly what Gunther's character is. Shit. That's exactly what his Intercontinental title reign has been. Shit. And that's exactly what we get in 2023 in professional wrestling. Everything is fucking shit. And then Gunther today had the audacity to take a jab, take a dig. Not only did he try and run down a dead man, but he tried to run down someone that is way more popular, someone that was way more over, and someone that was way more successful and larger than life than he is. And I know Gunther is pretty large because he used to be a fat bastard, but that's not the point I'm getting. I'm talking about in terms of star status, star power. He ran down the Ultimate Warrior. So yeah, I do have a bit of a sore throat, guys, but we are going to get through this one because I'm not missing an opportunity here to bash Gunther. So they're on the bump and it's an out of character. They're kind of like semi-in character, but not really. So it's an out of character interview. WWE The Bump, and they've got the two hosts. They're playing this game where they show like Intercontinental Champions of the past, and Gunther has to give his opinion on them. So of course they show the Macho Man Randy Savage. Gunther saying a lot of good shit about Randy Savage. He was a star, he was memorable, he had one of the greatest characters ever, all that stuff. Then they show Bret Hart, and of course Gunther kisses Bret's ass. Oh, greatest technical wrestler of all time. He was the best technical wrestler back then. I'm the best technical wrestler right now. Gunther wanted to test his abilities against Bret Hart. Whatever. Kissing Bret Hart's ass. And then we go to the next one. And it is the Ultimate Warrior. Now, the host said this is one of the biggest superstars, one of the greatest superstars of all time. The Ultimate Warrior. And Gunther completely downplayed this. Gunther made it out as if Warrior was a piece of shit on his shoe. And I don't care what your opinion of Warrior is. I mean, I personally didn't think he was that great. I was never a huge Warrior fan, and I've heard that he wasn't the nicest person, but I didn't know him personally, so I'm not going to comment on any of that. But the guy's dead, and Gunther felt the need to bury him. So this is what Gunther had to say. The image of Ultimate Warrior pops up. The co-hosts say one of the greatest superstars of all time, and Gunther says the following, quote, "Those are the real dark ages. He's a showman. He's not an athlete, not a professional wrestler. He's a showman. Now, everybody knows why I have to be the one to keep this title for the longest time in history, to wash its reputation clean and set it to a new standard." End of quote. And during this, the co-hosts were trying to butt in. They were trying to basically get Gunther to reconsider his thoughts, but he wasn't having it. Gunther stuck by his opinion. And what a shite opinion this is. First of all, for this guy to claim that the Dark Ages is anything but today's era is a fucking joke. This is the least popular wrestling has ever been. You look at wrestling's not a cool thing to watch now. Back in the day, you weren't embarrassed, you weren't afraid to talk to people. Or I watch wrestling. Nowadays, you wouldn't fucking tell anybody you watch wrestling, and barely anybody is watching it. Just look at the TV ratings. But wrestling now is considered something that only geeks watch, only nerds watch, only fucking losers watch. I mean, yeah, there's a handful of people that maybe don't come under those categories, but the majority of the people that watch wrestling do come under those categories. Wrestling back in the day when Warrior was around, when Attitude Era was around, cool people watched wrestling. You don't really get cool people watching wrestling anymore. Then you look at, he says that he's not an athlete. He says that the Ultimate Warrior's not an athlete. Well, neither are you. You're not an athlete. You're a guy pretending to fucking wrestle. You're not an athlete. You've never competed in the Olympics. You've never done any sort of real athletic competition. You're just a guy that fake fucking wrestles, and you used to be fat as fuck. You were fatter and more out of shape than Warrior was ever. So What are you talking about here, Gunther? Claims to be a professional wrestler. Nobody knows who Gunther is, man. If Gunther disappeared tomorrow, his name would not be remembered. Nobody gives a shit about Gunther. Ultimate Warrior will, whether you like him or not, he will be known as one of the top stars from the 80s, 90s. And that's never going to change. When you're talking about greatest of all time, when you look at that era, his name is always going to come up. Gunther's name isn't even fucking relevant. Gunther, when he disappears, when he retires, no one's going to want Gunther to come out of retirement. No one's going to be begging for another Gunther match. Gunther fucking sucks, man. His title reign has bored the shit out of people, and I can't believe he had the audacity to run down Ultimate Warrior and claim that was the Dark Ages and just put this guy down. The guy's dead. Why not have a bit of respect? Maybe you don't like the guy, maybe you weren't a big fan of him. Why can't you just say, yeah, he was not bad, or you don't have to bury him. You don't have to say it was the Dark Ages and now you're trying to wash its reputation clean. Basically saying that you're trying to wipe away Ultimate Warrior and you're trying to delete his existence in the WWE. Fuck this. Ultimate Warrior, you ain't going to delete his existence. His existence is stored in professional wrestling. Like I said, when Gunther goes, any other bum, some other bum will just come in and take his place. Guy talks about characters. He ain't fucking got one. He's just a guy who speaks in a foreign accent. A big fat bastard that comes out with tights and pretends the ring is sacred. And his gimmick is, I'm a wrestler. Well, guess what? That's 99% of the roster's fucking gimmick. I'm a wrestler. That whole I'm a wrestler shit doesn't work. I can't stand Gunther, man. He's completely destroyed the Intercontinental Championship. Imperium are a boring as fuck faction, and how anyone can enjoy them, I have no idea. But this guy, back in the day, he was a fat fucking faggot with blue hair. Let's be honest. This guy thinks he's a star. He's nothing. He's fucking nothing. Oh, and until Gunther is in WrestleMania main events, and until Gunther's the WWE champion, and until Gunther can get a pop like the Ultimate Warrior did, and trust me, that will never, ever, 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 ever happen, then he's got no right to come out and talk about the Warrior being Dark Ages in wrestling and trying to wash away the reputation of the Warrior, man. At least the Warrior had a reputation for being a star. This guy's got a reputation for being absolutely nothing. He's part of Monday Night Raw, and look at it, lowest ratings of all time. Monday Night Raw has never been worse, and this guy contributes to it, so go fuck yourself, Gunther. You suck. You absolutely suck. I think we need to do 10 reasons why Gunther sucks, and I'll probably save that, guys, for when my throat's feeling a bit better. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. Very disrespectful here, coming out and talking about the Warrior like that. I just don't see the need for it. If someone's dead, then I don't get it. You look at wrestling, though. This happens. It's like when someone dies, if you liked them when they were alive, you overrate them. And this is the thing, people do this. If they like the wrestler, when they pass away, they overrate them. But if they didn't like a wrestler, when they pass away, they just try and completely discredit everything they've done. And it is fucking wrong, you know. It's sick for some. I don't know why they do this for some reason. But yeah, I've noticed that when a wrestler somebody likes passes away, they'll pretend that they were the greatest of all time. But when someone passes away that they dislike, you know, they'll make out as if they were a nobody and we're overrated and all this shit. It's very weird. Anyway, Gunther sucks, and that's it. I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Peace.